This is the registration table. Concession. And this is where the party room is. We've got the drummers out here. Drummers for talking. Full room right now.
The historic lyric was a place that was formed in the 40s, 50s, and 60s when segregation was enforced by the unjust laws of the United States. Because of segregation, this was the only place that black people could go to watch movies, to be entertainers, to be entertained. It was part of the Chitlin Circuit, which meant all the famous acts, Duke Ellington, James Brown, B.B. King, Tina Turner, Red Fox. This was the only place that was safe for them to perform at. So they would come here, and a lot of times they weren't famous yet, but they would come perform here and get to know the audience and the people around here and form their craft as they travel throughout the South. And the historic lyric was a part of that. So we are very in tune with the unjust laws of America. We're very in tune with the marginalization and the segregation and integration and even redlining and gentrification. All the things that a lot of times, I think you people, that concerns a lot of people that care about others.
So, as was mentioned, my name is Omar. I am the board president of the ACLU Kentucky, and I am happy to say that the ACLU Kentucky has the country's only DACA recipient and one of the youngest board presidents in the country. And I think that is a symbol of how the ACLU has always thought ahead and works on making sure directly impacted people have a voice. And times are scary. It is scary to think of what could happen. As someone who has DACA and have family members who are undocumented, I stay up at night thinking, will the president take my parents? Will he invoke the Insurrection Act and to arrest migrants? And as silly as it sounds, what will happen to my cat if I don't make it home? In these dark times, I remember the quote from Mr. Rogers. I would see scary things in the news, and my mother would say, look for the helpers. You will always find people who are helping. And we offer you here the chance to contribute to that help. You can be a helper today, and we cannot do this work by ourselves. Today, together with our state and national partners, stand as the last line of defense for our civil rights and liberties in this trying times.
Working relationship. Everyone at the ACLU Kentucky is really excited to be here tonight. We are actually kicking off our 70th anniversary celebration here in Lexington with all of you. So we will be traveling to 7 cities this year and into next year to celebrate this anniversary, but it was fitting, I think, to start here in Lexington. For the work that has happened here in Lexington and Central Kentucky, the work that has happened in communities across Kentucky has brought us where we are here today. We're an ACLU that has 13 full-time staff members. We have 19 board members. Staff and board members, wave your hands. We've got like a good grouping of folks. We have over 5,000 card-carrying members of the ACLU here in the state of Kentucky. We have hundreds of volunteers, everyone working to uphold the rule of law and to safeguard our most precious freedoms. Tonight, as the slideshow has been moving through, you may have seen the slide that said fighting back, fighting forward. That is the theme that we have adopted this anniversary year to describe our work in this critical moment. So first, which I was talking to some people about this and folks had not heard, the ACLU of Kentucky has filed litigation against the Trump administration. So our affiliate is also joined by the ACLU of Virginia and also the National ACLU filing litigation against book bans that have happened in Department of Defense education activity schools. So these are schools that are on military bases. And after the president signed his anti-DEI executive order in the very early days of his presidency, which seemed like hundreds of years ago, but it was just about 100 days ago, when he signed that ban, the Department of Defense started making changes at the schools that they are in charge of. So that included no longer celebrating Heritage Month. So Black History Month assignments that had been assigned were canceled and students were told they weren't going to turn them in because they weren't doing them anymore. Libraries were closed and books were put in quarantine. I don't think we know at this point all of the books that were pulled off the shelves and are no longer available to students, but that happened. And also changes to curriculum. So we know information about human sexuality has been pulled out of some of the classes and students no longer have access to that information. So our legal team filed a motion for preliminary injunction. Our hope is that we can get some of the curriculum restored, get some of these books out of quarantine, because of course these students are actually preparing for AP exams. Students are preparing for things that they may potentially be tested on, that they no longer have access to the books or materials that they need in order to test them. So we were very, very proud in the early days of this administration for our ability to file a piece of litigation against the president. We are still in court here in Kentucky, fighting for the right to bodily autonomy. We are working to restore health care for trans youth. I think it was mentioned, there is a Supreme Court ruling that is expected next month that is likely to have an impact on our litigation that is Kentucky-based, so please keep an eye out for news on that. We are also in state court working to overturn the 2 abortion bans that are blocking access to care here in Kentucky. So folks may have followed the roller coaster of us representing health providers, the Kentucky Supreme Court, and a pretty unprecedented ruling saying that medical providers did not have the right to bring those claims on behalf of their patients. So fighting back also means empowering Kentuckians. So this calendar year, we have distributed over 3,000 Know Your Rights cards here in the state with information about people's rights when interacting with ICE and other law enforcement, the rights of protesters to have their voices heard. Know Your Rights information on our website has been accessed and shared thousands of times in just the last few months, and so we are grateful to be a trusted source of this crucial information. Fighting Forward looks like what you all have been doing in Lexington, with thousands of people coming together in the streets week after week, in solidarity against government overreach, and we're seeing the pictures and videos go viral. I think Rachel Maddow had some of them in her show. So you all are receiving national attention for mobilizing and standing up, and of course that inspires other people to join the work. So
this time, I don't know what, something clicked and it dawned on me how much that I had benefited from the ACLU's actions my whole life, and I had taken them for granted. The ACLU truly does look out for everyone, so I knew I wanted to get involved. I applied to the board and was immediately welcomed, offered an amazing amount of training, given access to information, God forbid that other organizations did that, and luckily, I have some of the skills to help in a small capacity with the amazing work they do. I am in awe of the staff and the board members, I'm looking at you, that I get to work with and learn from every single day that I show up. They help me be a better person and to help other people. I I have volunteered for many great organizations over the years, and I still do, but let's just say, some of them tend to look for reasons not to try new ideas. But I have to say, the ACLU of Kentucky welcomes new ideas. And not only do they welcome new ideas, they get shit done. They put their money where their mouth is every damn day. So I decided to put my money where my mouth is and stand united with the ACLU of Kentucky. They represent everyone, not just people like me in our little bubbles. So please, as we used to say in the 70s, get your checkbooks out. Or as we say today, Venmo, PayPal, it works. Thank you all for being here today. Much appreciated.
Thank you for being here. For those I'm meeting for the first time, my name is Basel, and I have the honor and privilege of serving on the board of the ACLU of Kentucky. I'm a Syrian-American immigrant who's been calling the Bluegrass my good old Kentucky home for almost a decade now, and it's surreal. I grew up in Syria under an authoritarian rule, and so you couldn't speak your truth. You couldn't be yourself. You couldn't stand up to the government. The walls had ears, as people would say. And then I would be in my living room listening to the news, and I'd hear about منظمة اتحاد الحقوق المدنية الأمريكية, or the American Civil Liberties Union, suing the government. And I was like, wow, I did not even know that's possible. That concept is bizarre. We take it for granted, but millions of people, billions of people around the world do not have that privilege. You've heard from the amazing Sarah talk about how the ACLU has shaped her story as a woman in America. Well, it's shaped mine too, as an immigrant, as an LGBTQ person, as a DEI professional, as an educator, and as a human. And so I want you to pause and think for a moment about all the ways that the ACLU has shaped your story. How has it impacted you? If you know me, you know I travel a lot for work. And people will know I'm from Syria. By this point, people have gone through enough DI trainings. They know not to say something stupid. They just nod, smile politely. Then they hear I live in Kentucky, and they'll be like, oh wow, what are you doing in Kentucky? And I'm like, what do you mean what am I doing in Kentucky? I'm thriving. Woo! I came out of the closet here. I became an American citizen here. And I found my voice and purpose here. This community, this room, this is so special. And we have that thanks to our differences. Thanks to the rights that we have, that the ACLU has protected for 70 years here in Kentucky. And they will continue to do so for the next 70 years. We're standing here on the shoulders of giants, but today is not just a celebration, it's a call to action. Be informed, there's so much out there, but we do not have the privilege to tune it out. Get involved, the policy and the advocacy team are here. Prevention is the best cure. It is easier to pass good policies than fight bad ones. And support us. Whatever is meaningful to you, whether it's $5 or $5,000, I promise you, every dollar counts. Because for the ACLU to be for the people and by the people, it has to be funded by the people. So thank you for being here. We appreciate you. And join us in shaping the next 70 years of the future of Kentucky. Thank you.